Blades Basic Builds, where I build basic buildings for you to use in your Minecraft worlds. It's sort of a block by block tutorial, but not exactly a block by block tutorial. Anyway, today's episode is going to be on a desert house. In particular, we're going to be building a medium-sized desert house. I've kind of put the palette behind here of all the blocks we'll be needing. So we do have dirt, regular terracotta. This is stripped birch. Any of these blocks, a lot of them can be substituted, especially when it gets to like the wood blocks or the terracotta blocks, or down in the end with the get to the wool. Those can be done with different colors. You could use stripped oak here. We'll need sand, smooth sandstone, sandstone, chiseled sandstone, creeper sandstone, whatever those are called, and the sandstone slabs, sandstone stairs. Uh, Jungle fence is my preference on this. Jungle fence gate and jungle trapdoor. Again, with these jungle ones, if you only have oak, jungle's sometimes a little harder to find. You can certainly substitute oak for that. Here's some additional decoration blocks we're going to need. Dirt, of course, grass, a flower if you want it. Again, a lot of these are optional. Shrubs, which you can see in a normal desert generation, are everywhere. Leaf blocks, a sandstone fence gate, and two colors of wool, and two banners matching those colors. And lastly, the spruce trapdoor for some additional decoration that we'll need. Well, let's get started. The first thing we want to do with this build is the first basic layout. And I like to count things in either odds of 3 or 5 in most of my builds, in these desert builds that we're going to do. So we usually want to start and just pick a corner here, and we'll pick this side right here, and we'll pick a corner and count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place a block. Then we will turn it, because we're going to go this way. This is not a large house, so we're not going to go too far this way. And then we're going to put another one exactly corner to that. And then we'll count 5 between this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll do that, and we'll go ahead and put another corner block going in like that. And we'll do the same thing over on this side to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here in corner block. So now you should have this square right here that looks like this. Next, we're going to start by making an additional part of this building. So if you can imagine here, this is one section of the building that will go up. We're going to make another smaller two sections of the building here that are going to be 3 wide, just to give us some variation and difference in there. So we'll start it here again by placing a block, and then we'll go over 1, 2, 3, and put a block, and then we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, and put another block. And then we're going to go ahead and come with the corners across this, same way, except we're going to go 5 here to match up with this one over here. And then again, we'll go 1, 2, 3 to break it up, and then 1, 2, 3, and put it there. So now you have the base shape of your building right here. You can see that it's going to be longer than it is wide. All right, and next we need to grab our pillaring block. Now this could be stripped oak. These are going to be the outside beams of the house. So what we'll want to do is we'll go up 3 for these. Remember, I like to work in those odd numbers. So we'll go up 3 with the log beams here. 1, 2, 3. And we'll basically fill up every single one of these with 3. And I'll come back to you whenever that... Alright, now that you have put all your pillars up, we're going to go around and we're going to cap each one of those pillars with the chiseled sandstone. Next, we're going to take our smooth sandstone and fill all the gaps between each of our pillars. And you're going to continue to do this for every wall all the way around. Now we're going to take more stripped logs and put them as connecting between each of the already beams, the tower beams going vertical. And you're going to do this all the way around. You should now have a rectangular shaped building that looks something like this. Now we're going to break out spots for our doors and windows. Now I would definitely pick one section of the 5x5 section for the section that contains the door, and the windows can be placed anywhere, but it depends on the design for your interior. So you can follow what I'm going to do here, or you can make a little bit of slight modifications to what fits your needs. So I'm going to break out this for a door, and then any window we're going to have is going to be a too tall window. So we're going to put a window there. I'm going to come through and put a window here, and I'm going to put a window here. On this side, I'm also going to put an additional window here. And then I'm going to leave these without windows there. Then I'm going to come over here and put an additional window here. And I will put an additional window here and here. Inside of our window frames, we're going to put not glass, but we're going to put jungle trapdoors, like so, and open them. Now we want to make sure that the two latches here in the center face towards each other. So if yours do not face towards the center, that means you probably put them on the wrong side. Either they face that way, something like that. So from the outside, you want to put the jungle trapdoors in here and make sure they open to face each other, like so. And we're going to do that for all the windows. Next, for each of the windows, we're going to place a fence gate in front of the window. You will have to hold shift while you click on that, and then you'll open the fence gate, and then you'll place a trap door above that window so it comes and hangs over that window for a little shade. You'll do this for all the windows around. You can place a trap door first if it's easier for you to do that. Just like that. And we'll do it all the way around again. Next, you're going to grab the jungle fence posts and put them in the corners as support beams for the beam above. And you'll do this all the way around, whether there are windows or not, in each one of the corners. Next, we're going to add coverings to our doors. So what you're going to want to do is take a trap door and place it right there. Then go on the inside of your door and add a banner hanging from it. Same thing if you've created a secondary door on the side like I did. You want to hang one from there as well. And this will allow you to walk in and out of your house. It does prevent some of the taller creatures, like if you have villagers, from walking in and out of houses, so you can put them inside the houses and they will stay inside of there. But it's a hanging little curtain for your house. So we're going to add sandstone fence support beams to connect between the corners and other gaps, like so. And we're going to do this again all the way around in each one of these support beam corners. Next, in each of the corners, we're going to connect the two support beams with fence beams going all the way up. And then we will do this again for each of the corners. We're going to go up to each one of the corners and put a half slab on each one of the fence post gates all the way around. Now with all the desert buildings, they're going to have much shallower roofs than you would traditionally find on roofs in other places, because they do not have snow or rain as much that they need to roll off the roof. So that's why you have those high triangular peaked roofs. So we're going to have a very flat domed roof. Now, actually for this medium desert house, we're actually going to take one section of the house and raise it up higher. You can pick either section that you want to be a second story, but we're going to have a second story in only one section of the house. In the case for me, I'm going to have a second story in this section of the house right here, this 5x5 section. I'm going to make a small second story, and then the larger section over here, I'm actually going to use for a balcony. Once you have your half slabs placed on top of those pillars, you want to come into the middle of these beams right here and place a stair, skip a spot, place a stair, skip a spot, place a stair. And you want to do this all the way around on every single side. Alright, next you want to put a ring of terracotta around. If you're having trouble getting a lot of terracotta, the terracotta actually doesn't need to be a solid ring all the way around. I'll show you where you can save some on terracotta, but a lot of times deserts are right by biomes that contain a lot of terracotta. And you can pretty much choose any color terracotta. I'm choosing the plain terracotta here in this demo, but If you're having multiple of these type of houses in one area, sometimes this accent color that you use here can be used to distinguish between the houses, and it adds a nice variety to each of the houses. So we're going to complete this ring all the way around. Alright, next, wherever you want your second story to be, you're going to want to break the corners out. So again, mine's going to be on this side because we're only doing second story on half of this building. The other half is going to be a balcony for you to walk out on. So we're going to replace the corner blocks here and here on this side, and then we're going to count that space of 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and break that block, and we're going to put another beam block there. Then we're going to grab again the stripped birch logs, or whatever stripped log you're using for your beams, and we're going to count up that 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to go ahead and place that cut sandstone on top of all of these beam blocks one last time. While you have your stripped birch here, let's go ahead and make a connection across here between these two to form a beam here. Alright, next you're going to grab some sort of wood plank. I'm using jungle. I prefer half slabs here so it gives you more space on the bottom below, but you're going to fill in the floor here. We do have a wooden floor instead of a sandstone or any other type of floor. It's easier for the beams to support, but it doesn't necessarily have to be wood if you want to make it something else. I think wood works out great, but this is completely up to you if you want to modify any of these designs slightly to better fit your needs. So you're going to fill out the entire thing with floor here. And so now you should have something that looks similar to this, where you have your second floor room that you're going to have, and then a balcony that comes off from that side as well. Next thing we're going to need to do is put a ring of sandstone around this room here for the bottom part of the walls for this room. Now these are not actually pushed back in. If you wanted to, you could push them back in, but you'd have to probably make a little bit of a larger room because this room is already going to be a small room up here. So we're not pushing them in like we did right here. The difference between these and these are at the exact same level as the other ones. Now on top of that, again, we're going to fill this up with smooth sandstone. All the way around until we get to the level with the pillars. And then at that point, we're going to put an additional line of regular sandstone to connect between these pillars. So you should have something that looks like that. Next, we're going to come in and put some windows in, as we did on the bottom as well. Oops. Don't want to hit it too quickly and break it like that. And again, I'm not going through all the steps on the windows, but you can follow those as you did down below. We are going to want to once again put some of the window coverings in these. So we want to make sure that we have these properly covered. And as always, you don't have to have windows on all sides. You actually don't want windows everywhere, so you can have some variation, and you can also be able to decorate easier and put things against the walls. Now on this side, we're going to need a door coming out to the balcony, and I'm going to also put a window here as well. Alright, next you're going to want to come to the corners and break them out again as well over here, and in this case I'm going to put the chiseled sandstone, and then on top of those, once you have those two corners in, I'm going to put a cut sandstone on top of each one of those, and then I'm going to put cut sandstone and skipping spaces in between here, and the same with this side. And all the way with this side. Then I'm going to pick the sandstone wall and put those to go between the gaps. of the cut sandstone. So now you should have a balcony with a fence like so. Next, you're going to take some sandstone slabs. In this case, I'm using the chiseled variety. You're going to place one in the corner and place a temporary block there and delete that. And then you're going to come across here. Same thing, put one in the corner, come out, put one in the corner, come out, and you're going to do this all the way around, like so. Next, you're going to take your terracotta and put 3 on each side. Like so. Then you're going to take your chiseled sandstone and fill the gaps in between the terracotta. As I was building, I made a little slight mistake here. You actually want the pillars to be on top of where the slabs are, so they line up here. So you want to fix that to where these line up to being on top of in line with the stairs. And this is again where we're saying you could save on some terracotta. If you didn't have all the terracotta there, you could put anything behind there because you're not going to actually see that block. It's just easier earlier in the tutorial to go around and use that. So in between these, you'll still want the terracotta there. And the fences go as so. And we'd want to do the same on this side as well. So now, if we update that, you should have something that looks more like that. Next, you want to put chiseled sandstone in each corner. I'm just using those beams as support, but you just to place the block, but you can remove those afterwards. Then you're going to want to put a stair. It might be difficult to do this, but you want to put a stair in each one of these places, like so. And you're going to want to connect a beam across like so. And in the center of that beam, you can put any block that connects it because you just need it to put a little smooth sandstone cap. Then you're going to want to get another half slab and fill in these triangular shapes right here made by your roof that's remaining. And your roof there should be completed. I'm going to add some details to the building here. On the outside, first thing we're going to do is add some torches all the way around for lighting. I like to choose the middle of the beams, even though that does not spread lighting as far because it's higher up. For decoration purposes. I also like to come up here and do the same thing on these beams. Like so. You're going to want to take some sandstone stairs and break some dirt right around the front here, and you're going to want to place them upside down. The reason you're placing them upside down is so that you can get this texture of little sandstone patio driveway. And if you have more than one door, you might want to actually do that on all the doors. So I'm going to go do it here on this other door that I have as well. Just doesn't have to be a big section, just a little section adds a little bit of details that you have a nice smooth pathway to go inside your building. While we're doing that real quick, we're going to go inside each one of these, starting with right here, and we're going to replace the entire floor with terracotta. Now, I usually like to do this with a different color terracotta than you used as your accent piece, so it doesn't match what's inside on your roof. But in this case, I'm just going to use the same terracotta. So I'm going to fill this entire area with terracotta. All right, next up for the details, we're going to add some random dirt blocks all around the base of the building. Some areas are going to have more dirt blocks than others. But what this is around your house as you have plants and things that you plant here, and then as water rolls off the roof and things like that, you slowly build up more dirt close to the areas that have water and things like that. So in this case, we've got some dirt blocks all around here. Again, just kind of randomly putting them on the side of the house. There's no real pattern here to that. You'll be able to change this as we add some more details later if it requires your need. When we're adding some vegetation and plant life to the outside of your house, you might need more or less dirt blocks to give it a little or more or less life. But you know, shouldn't be coming out too far from the house. Maybe that is as far as you'd want to go, but you know, kind of some of these all close around the house makes sense. So you should have some dirt blocks like so. Before we add too many more details outside and have to remove them, we're gonna come to this side that we have our spare door added on, and we're gonna create an awning. So we're gonna come out again our even numbers, and we're gonna go out our odd numbers and go out 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place a sandstone fence, and do the same on the other side. And then we are going to place 2 jungle slabs like so on either side. Now, depending on what color you'd like on the outside, because it'll be the outside on the same, you're going to start with that color. So in my case, I'm picking blue to be my outside color here. So you want to put 1 on top of here, and then go back 3, and then up 1, and then go back 3 more, like so. And then you're going to want to match this color. You're going to do stripes, so you do white next. Then you're going to do blue and white and blue and white. And then finally a blue. Now you want to get out your banners, and you're going to match the color to the color wool that you have here. So I'm going to put my blue banners first all the way around, matching the color of the wool. And then I'm going to put the white banners on the few white stripes. So again, if you had more white wool and wanted to do that and you did the outside, you can see there's way more banners of the color that's on the outside than on the inside colors. So you only needed 3 of the white and a lot of the blue. So if you swapped your white to be the outside one, you would require more of that. So that puts us having a little canopy hanging out on one side of the house that you can go out to and have a little garden over here in a fenced in area. Next, we're going to have some vegetation. You can have very disorganized, overgrown vegetation by throwing some grass. Now, granted, you want grass to only be on the dirt blocks, but you can have some of these dead vegetation as well that are out in the sand. Maybe they were at one point trees or shrubs or grass, but you want to have a little bit of this grass blocks, not grass blocks, but grass pieces all the way around. Next, you know, if you want to have more organized shrubs, you can use this shrub design here, and you would place a shrub here, and then place a leaf block on top of that, so you can have some very fancy formal shrubs in places around your house. So I'm going to place a couple of shrubs here that are around my house, like so. And then I also want to show you that if you wanted to, you can just have some sections that are just overgrown with foliage, that if you want a more disorganized look on your house, you could have some sections of foliage that are a little overgrown, you know, kind of like this, where the jungle leaves in this case are kind of overgrown. We'll try this on this side as well. We'll put a little more here, have this overgrown, maybe even have it come out more like that too, and then have some grass blocks here that's kind of all overgrown vegetation right there. So that kind of shows the vegetation on the outside. Now, another thing I like to add to some of the vegetation sometimes outside is little potted plant areas. So again, we can do like this. And it's up to you whether or not you want it to be something that is overgrown like this, or something again more organized to where it has something like flowers growing in it. But we're going to put a couple of these planters around in places instead of just having the grass, just to show you what that can look like. Again, you want to put dirt on the inside of your planters, and then we're going to, in this case, place a piece of grass there. You can even do single small planters, so if you wanted a planter as soon as you come out right here, put that there, and then let's say, again, it's we're doing a little overgrown in this area. Or you can have extremely long planters that are fill up the complete section between some of the pillars, like so, and have that. And even if you wanted to, you could actually even put some of these in the planters as well if you wanted to have, you know, more of a formal bush growing there. But it gives you some variation of what you can do as far as your style that you want to add some of these details to your house. Now that we have our basic build for this medium desert house, we're going to go over some of the details that you can add or change to make slight variations to this house. One of the things you can definitely do is add vegetation in some sort of fashion, whether that be bushes or trees, to your roof. So as we said before, you can certainly add some of these bush styles here to your roof garden, your balcony that you come out onto. The reason I stack up, just so that if you try to place a leaf block directly onto one of these, it'll actually, if you try to place it on top of it, just replace the block in itself. So you actually have to come from another block on top of it. So in this case, you'd have to come from a block on this side of it. A little tip there for you. So we can add a couple more of these shrubs up here if we wanted. We could certainly put one in the corner here and make it to where we wouldn't have to have as many slabs around it because it kind of protects it in that corner. And then we put another one here. And maybe in this case we're going to make these up here actually tall, too tall, big old shrubs, because we're taking care of those a little more so they stand out there. So that's one detail. Another detail that you can add, if you want to customize a little more, is actually to take and bring canopies out over your doorways on the front. Smaller canopies in this case is what you may want to bring. So we're going to go out, again, that odd number, so we're going to go out 3 here for a smaller canopy. But we're still going to go up to the same height. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to get our 2 colors of wool again, the blue and the white. Again, you can choose whichever colors you want here. But we're going to go out like that and in like that. And we will follow these with these 2 colors. Oops. If I can do it right. Seems I keep messing that up. And again, these details are completely optional. You can be satisfied with just the basic build that we have out there that doesn't include these additional canopy details. But we can certainly add these as we get more blocks, or we require additional details. But we'll put, again, our banners coming off of here for the different colors to match. And this adds an additional canopy for the front. So now you have an additional canopy coming out the front and off the side. If you wanted, you could even build a canopy off of here, a little small one. I wouldn't, or if you didn't have the canopy on this side, I'd recommend you could have a full canopy coming all the way to the edge down here as well. I did notice that we forgot to add a curtain hanger here on this floor, so we will add one here. Next, we're going to go inside and look at some of the basic layouts that we could do inside of this Blades basic build. So before we go inside, I did want to show you how you can make some basic modifications to the outside to add some enhancements, or depending on what you like. If you think the canopies are too bright and colorful, you can tone them down with a more neutral color like brown. If you think the outside is not colorful enough, you can start adding color to the additional sides, especially looks nice on some of the more blank walls. You can add a canopy coming down off the top here, As you notice over here on these sides, I added more color to these walls. If you don't want to add color, another way to do variation is by mixing in sand into your smooth sandstone, as well as mixing in either chiseled or cut sandstone into your walls. So some of those are some of the basic things that we can do on the outside. And the reason I wanted to show you those variations is as we walk inside, you'll notice that some of these walls may be that other color that you weren't expecting. So I wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. So let's go walk inside and see some of the inside layout options that you have in here. The way I laid this out in here is when you walk in, you're immediately in a kitchen area where you have a nice little setup of drawers and some cooking stoves, a nice little seating area for you to eat at, as well as a desk to work from, some paperwork stored in boxes, a little hall closet over here that contains some chests in it. This room right here can be used for whatever you want. It's a little small spare room. You can use it for a bedroom or a bathroom if that's your desire for whatever interior design. I built stairs going up to the second floor. You can also just place a beam coming straight down and do a ladder up to the second floor if you want to get more of this space back from these stairs. But what I put on my second floor is my bedroom. I put that up here, just a simple bedroom. I did not design it in any great fashion. Interior design, you can check out some of our other videos for those. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of what you could do with all of this space in here. And again, these additional colors may not necessarily be here in your build. If you like those either on the inside or the outside, you can certainly have them. I lost the clip of where I was actually showing you how to add those on. It's going to include this edition of Blades as basic builds for the medium sized desert house. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe and share.